Very good morning. Welcome to Unify Study. Hi, learners. Today it's going to be a very interesting topic from Indian logic, quick revision with the keywords and also PYQs. We are going to do only two concepts we are going to do. One is all the pramanas, another one very important, hitvabash. So these two are the important things that we are going to do in today's class on must topic revision. Come on, let's start doing. So are you all ready? Is ready? Very good morning everyone. Good morning. Yes. Okay. So we will start doing directly to the questions. Learners those who are new to our platform, kindly do subscribe and watch till the end because we are going to learn the concepts with the keywords. Clear? Yes. So first we go, what do you mean by what is we are studying in Indian logic? So Indian logic talks about how we have gained knowledge, how we are thinking, how we have thought. All this process has been discussed in this Indian logic and what are all the different types of philosophies that Indians has been followed. So here we have a technical term called epistemology. Epistemology means it's a study of knowledge, how we have learned this, how we are recognizing things. Say example now, looking at a dog, then we realize yes it is a dog because we have already have a mind how a dog will looks like. Clear? So how we learn all those things, how we understand things, all these things we call it as a study of knowledge comes under epistemology, right? So the Indian epistemological tradition has these 6 different sources of gaining a knowledge. So I gain knowledge through these 6 different sources, that is perception, inference. If you find difficult in understanding that Sanskrit words, I think with English words we can easily able to get it, right? So perception means what? Through the sense organs. Inference means what? I come to a conclusion. Verbal testimony means what? Through the word of mouth. And comparison means what? I am just comparing two things. Through that we gain knowledge. Presupposition means what? By assumption I gain some knowledge. And then non-apprehension means what? By the absence of that thing I will be having some knowledge. All these 6 different ways are there where we gain knowledge, right? So then next we move to the theory of knowledge lies on these 4 concepts called pramata, pramaya, pramana, pramati. Very simple to understand. So what do you mean by a pramana? Pramana means by which source I gain knowledge. Either by inferring something or by means of perception, by how I get that knowledge. It's called pramana. Pramana. Okay. And what is that pramata? Pramata means me, right? The subject who acquires the knowledge. I am here, I acquire the knowledge and that is called pramata. And pramaya means what? The object. Through what about I gain knowledge, it's called pramaya. And next one we have a pramati. Pramati means the correct knowledge which has been achieved. The knowledge, okay, the exact knowledge I have achieved and that is called pramati. So pramana means what? The means of obtaining language. How I gain that knowledge. Okay. Pramata means what? I am the object which gain that knowledge. I am the subject. I gain some knowledge. Okay. What is next one? Pramaya. Pramaya is the object. That object we call it as pramaya. And next one pramati means what? What is the knowledge I have gained out of it? It's called pramati. Am I clear? So these are the theory of knowledge. The 4 terms are there. Pramana, pramata, pramaya and pramati. Clear? Next, this is the whole chart. You can write it down in your notebook or you can just have a printout of this particular page where all the 6 different types of pramanas along with its types are covered. Is that screen visible, learners? Is that screen visible? So even if you do for your revision, right, this one single page is enough for 6 different sources of knowledge. Pramana, this is enough. So I'll go one by one quickly we will do it. So pramana is of 6 types, that is perception, inference, analogy, postulation, non-perception and verbal testimony. These 6 different types of pramanas. And here what do you mean by each and every one we are going to see now. So we have to remember the types of perception and anumana. Here Anumana will be the biggest important one. This is the most important one. We are getting questions. So come on, let's start into the 6 different types of pramana. Okay. So perception. Perception means what? By means of using the sensory organs, I gain some knowledge. Okay. Not only by sensory organs. There are some intuition will works for us. Extraordinary power of knowledge will be there. Through also I gain some knowledge. And that knowledge we call it as perception. So the knowledge which I gain through my sensory organ or the extraordinary knowledge, and that we call perception. Simple example, when you look at this, you will say it's a mango tree. When you cross a mango garden, right, the smell will be there. There is a mango garden nearby, right? So through the sense organs, when we realize something, when we gain some knowledge, and that we call it as perception or pratyaksh. And these are the different things that we have to know inside perception. So when I have an ordinary perception, I have very normal knowledge person, okay? How? Through seeing, through hearing, through smelling, through tasting, okay, by touching. When I realize something, and then we call it as an ordinary perception or sadharana perception or laukika perception, right? Okay. Whenever I receive something, perceive something through my extraordinary knowledge, not all the person will have that extraordinary knowledge, right? In our home, right, some elder can come, by looking at us itself, they can say this child will be a very great in their future. So how they say? Because that person has a great knowledge, extraordinary perception. So that we call it as alaukika or asadharana. So simple example, not only that instance, we have different types over there. Samanya lakshan, jnana lakshan and yogaja. Samanya lakshan means what? See, I am just recognize the roses are flowers. So some general characteristics will be there, and I will be applying it to a particular object, and that is called Samanya Lakshan. Recognizing the general characteristics in the particular object. So there will be every particular object, I will be able to understand the characteristics means, then we call it as Samanya Lakshan. Jnana Lakshan means what? Jnana means what? That wisdom, right? The wisdom that we have. So I have a big crowd will be there. We can able to identify whom we are looking for, right? And we can say ice looks cold, because we know that ice looks cold means it will be like solid. So we know that, right? The ice looks cold. And when you look at fire, will be scary because fire will be very hot. So what happened here? The knowledge based perception. Knowledge based perception. We can able to recognize something. Then we call it as Jnana Lakshan. If there is a businessman who is a milk businessman, right? So anywhere he goes across the world, milk business he will be aware of. Am I clear? So that is Jnana Lakshan. He is having a good jnana about that business. Next we go to Yogaja. As I have telling you, there was an elder person who comes to our home looking at us, and they are telling, by looking at your face, I am telling you have a very bright future. If anyone tells us, right, that particular person have an extraordinary knowledge. So perception attained through that kind of knowledge will come by means of practices, meditation. So they will be very yogic person, saint and all there. No, though I will be having that extraordinary perception. Clear? And that we call yogacha. So a yogi receives a distant events or an abstract truth. Am I clear? Am I visible, learners? Move, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will move, ma'am. Wait, ma'am. I will hide, ma'am. Now visible. Okay, now. Now okay, Aruna, ma'am. What not clear? Sangeeta, madam. Right. Okay. So this we call Yogaja. And next we move to stages of perception. So what do you mean by stages of perception? I perceive something. Just there I am looking at a road. At a long distance, at a very long distance, there may be a car going. But without knowing that car, if I say something, then I say it's a nirvikalpa stage of perception. Nirvikalpa stage means without any knowledge about it, without having any clear data about it. When I say something, then I'll say it is a nirvikalpa stage of perception, the very first stage of perceiving something. But I can able to recognize that it is a car. I can able to recognize what it is. And then when I say something, when I gain some knowledge, and then we call it as Savikalpa stage of perception. Sangeeta ma'am, kindly increase the quality of your video there. There will be a gear button. Click that one. Increase the resolution so that you can able to view. Okay, right? So Savikalp means what? It is a determinate cognition where I will be very clear and specific about that particular thing, and then I will be saying something. So that we call it as Savikalp. These are the stages of perceiving knowledge. Nirvikalp and Savikalp. Clear? Yes. Next we move to very important one, that's called Anumana, Inference or Apoha. What do you mean? This is the second stage of gaining knowledge. So Anumana means what? Anu means after, Mana means knowledge. So here what happens? Before I have something in my mind, by using this I am gaining some knowledge. So after knowledge, Anumana. Simple example. How we take decision. How we take decision in day-to-day life. Definitely we know what we are going to do, what we are going to decide, and for any decision that we have to make, we need to have a very strong reason towards it, and also we need to have some kind of an example which has been happened before, right? Sometimes we used to just reaffirm it. See, this is why I am telling this. We reaffirm it and then we'll come to a conclusion. You understand? So we have just say this is what I am going to prove, the statement which I want to prove. And next one I will say this is the reason I am telling this. Then third one I will give an example. This is an example, see, or we can also, we will state some example for that particular instance I want to prove, and I will be reaffirming it. See, that is why I am saying this is what I want to say. Then finally I come to a conclusion. This is day-to-day life. When we take a conclusion, we go in this way only. That is what we call it as Anumana, or we call it as inference. Okay. And what do you mean by Anumana? It has a stages that we call PHUUN, that is Pratyajana, Hetu, Udaran, Upanayan, Nigmana. 5 stages of Anumana. So first what do you want to do? I want to prove something, right? I want to prove something, and that we call Pratyajana. Second one, what I want to do? I will stating a reason. This is the reason, and that is called Hetu. That is called Hetu. Next one, I will give an example. Udaran. Right? Udaran means what? Example. Then after giving an example, whenever there is a fire, there is a smoke. I am giving an example. See, there is a smoke on the hill. That is why I am telling this. I am reaffirming it with respect to the hill and the smoke. And therefore I am saying there is a fire on the hill. See here, there is a fire on the hill that I have to prove. Why I am saying there is a fire on the hill? Because there is a smoke. That's why I am saying. Because I have a before instance that whenever there is a fire, there is a smoke. I have a before example in my mind. Whenever there is a fire, definitely you would have seen smoke. Right? That is Udaran. And next before there is a smoke on the hill. I am reaffirming the statement. That is Upanayan. And next fifth one is a Nigmana, that is conclusion. I want to conclude now that yes, there is a fire on the hill. So this we call it as the stages of Anumana. And here there are the important terms are there. Yesterday in that Western logic, this we call it as Indian logic, and that is, yesterday we studied is Aristotle logic. Okay, this is Nyaya logic. Understand very clearly that we call it as Aristotle logic, where we have a major premise, we have a minor premise, and we have a conclusion. This comes under what? This comes under Aristotle syllogism. Aristotle syllogism we discussed yesterday, right? Yes. Here what we study here is called a Nyaya syllogism. Nyaya syllogism or Indian logic. Here we have what are all the terms? Here to make a conclusion. Here to make a conclusion in Nyaya philosophy, we need Pratyajana, Hetu, Udaran, Upanayan and Nigmana. So to Nigmana is nothing but a conclusion, right? So here to make a conclusion, I have to follow 5 steps. But in Aristotle logic, to make a conclusion, I follow 3 steps. Clear? Yes? So here I follow how many steps? 5 steps. Okay. And yesterday in class, we discussed about Aristotle logic, major premise, minor premise and conclusion. How many terms was there? How many terms are there in Aristotle logic? How many terms are there in Aristotle logic? How many terms are there in Aristotle logic? Yes, quick. Yes, we have a 3 terms. That is major term, minor term, and a middle term. So these are the 3 terms that we have in the Aristotelian logic. Okay. And similarly here how many terms are there? Here also we have 3 terms, and that we call it as major term, minor term, and a reason. And here we have the terms that we have to remember the terms. Major term we call it as a sadhya, minor term we call it as a paksha, and the reason we call it as a hetu. We call it as a hetu. So here we have 3 statements are there and 3 terms are there. In Nyaya syllogism we have 5 steps and 3 terms are there. Okay, right. What do you mean by the minor term? Minor term is nothing but called as a paksha, where that is a subject where which I am going to take a decision. And here the subject is the hill. Okay. And what is the major term here? The major term is the conclusion of what is to be proved. Based on this only I will be taking a decision. And that is called sadhya. Next one we have middle term. Middle term means the reason. The reason it can be called as hetu or linga. It will be called as hetu or linga. So this middle term has been used to connect the statements. Clear? So the reason is there and that is called hetu or linga. So in terms of Indian logic, we have these 5 steps and these 3 terms. See the prediction of this major term in relation to the minor term. There is a fire on the hill. Formation in the middle term in relation to the minor term, there is a visible smoke on the hill. And the formation of middle term and its universal relationship to the major term, where there is a smoke, there is a fire. So this is the structure of inference when we do it in the normal Aristotle logic. Am I clear? Yes. So now we move to the different categories of Anumana that we make. So it's based on the purpose, and it's based on the relation, and it is based on the application. Now we'll go one by one. Based on the purpose. Just imagine whatever I am saying you, because here I am going to infer something. We are going to come to a decision, so we are going to infer something. Based on the purpose, when I take some decision, say example, I used to give this traditional example. If I got either pass or I get fail in the examination. Now we are all here to get ourselves qualified in the examination, right? So when I want to take, why you take a conclusion to do your examination? I have not done well in the before exam. I have not prepared well in the before exam. I have not practiced well in the before exam. So these are the reasons I have not qualified in last time. So I have to do it. Then I can able to clear next time. Am I clear? So this is what the inference which I give for myself. Inference for the personal use. So I infer myself, this is the reason, this is why I have failed. So when I say to myself, and that is called Swartha Anumana. That is called Swartha Anumana. Am I clear? Yes. Then what do you mean by Prartha Anumana? When I want to convince other people. Okay, when I want to convince other people with the reason. This is the reason it happened. Okay, when I say that, that is called Prartha Anumana. Clear? So if my daughter is coming to me and asking some doubt, means I have to tell her the reason. See, this is why it is happening like this. So I will explain the person to come to a conclusion. Conclusion I am not going to take. She is going to take. To make my daughter to come to a conclusion, so I will be giving some points. So this is the reason it is happening. So I explain to someone that there is a fire by pointing out the smoke. So I will be explaining the reason to my daughter to make a decision. Am I clear? Clear? Yes. So next we move to the based on the relation, causal relation. Imagine, please try to imagine, visualize things what I am saying to you. So first we have a Purvavat Anumana, Sheshavat Anumana and Samyoga Drishtita Anumana. So what do you mean by Purvavat Anumana? So Purvavat Anumana means you want to go for shopping by 6 o'clock. 5 o'clock when you look at the sky, it was very dark. Dark clouds are there. So you infer that definitely it will rain when we go out. So better not to go. You take a decision. Clear? So now what happens here? The inference has been taken from the cause to effect. So here this talks about the cause to effect. Right? 1 minute. I forgot to close the window. It was very noisy. Hope so. I didn't realize. Now only I can get some sound. That's why. Um, Now is it clear? Now is it clear? Okay, fine, good. I didn't realize the sound which is coming outside. So Purvavat Anumana means what? It is taking an inference from cause to effect. What is the cause? Looking at the dark clouds. Looking at the dark clouds. That is perceiving the dark clouds on the sky. I am talking about the future. So I am talking about the future. Present to future. So dark clouds indicate that it will rain. So I perceive the cause. Write it down in your notebook. I perceive the cause. What I am doing? The unperceived effect. Unperceived effect. And that is called Purvavat Anumana. Then next Sheshavat Anumana. Next day morning, I went out. Looking at the road, it looks very muddy. It looks very muddy. By looking at that muddy road, I inferred that it would have been rained yesterday night. Hope so. But see here, what is this? This is called perceived effect. What I am perceiving through my eyes. Perceiving means I am getting knowledge. What is the effect? This muddy water is the effect. Okay. So I am perceiving this muddy water, and I am saying that muddy ground. Okay. And I am saying that unperceived cause, that it would have rained yesterday night. Maybe it also because of the corporation pipe would have been broken. The water would have happened. That's why it's called unperceived cause. I have not perceived. Okay, it's unperceived cause. So the inference from the effect to cause. See, effect to cause. And that is called Sheshavat Anumana. And next we have Samyo Drishtita. Means it is inference based on common instance. Simple example. When we get up in the morning, sun rises in the east, moon definitely will be there in the opposite side, right? So by changing the position of the moon and the sun, we infer that that kind of knowledge we call it as Samyo Drishtita. Changing position of moon, we can infer the moon is moving around. You understand? So that is called Samyo Drishtita. Inference based on the common instance which are happening. That is called Samyo Drishtita. Next one, according to application. What is according to application? I am infer something based on the positive examples, based on the uniform agreement in the presence alone. Then we call it as Kaivalya. All living beings need oxygen to survive. So here, based on this positive example, I am saying that all living beings need oxygen. For what? To survive. This is the reason. So I infer that I want to live means I need oxygen. So to survive. Here in terms of Sanskrit, you can remember like this way. In this Anumana, the Vyapti between the middle and the major term. Middle means the reason. Major means Sadhya. It is derived from the uniform agreement in their presence alone. Then we say it is Kaivalya. Next, Kaivalya. It means what? It is based on the negative examples only. Without sunlight, plants cannot grow. Where whatever inference we make, right? It is the uniform agreement in their absence alone, and that we call it as Kaivalya. Next, Anvayavyatireki means what? Where that inference will be based on the positive and the negative instances. It is based on the positive and the negative instances, and then we call it as Anvayavyatireki. Am I clear? So here the middle term, the middle term in inference is both positively and negatively related to the major term. So all these three things, right, there will be a relationship between the reason and the major term. There will be a relationship between the middle term, the reason, and the major term. If it is positively related means then we call Kaivalya, and if it is negatively related what? Then we call Kaivalya. And if it is positively and negatively related means it's called Anvayavyatireki. Am I clear? Clear? Yes? You can remember like this. If it is positively related means it is Kevalavaini, and negatively Kevalavatireki, and positively and negatively it's Naivavaitireki. Clear? Yes, very good. Now moving to the next now source of knowledge we call Upamana. So what do you mean by Upamana? Upamana means it is a way of acquiring the knowledge with some kind of a similarity between the things which I am stating, and that we call it as Upamana. So here Upamana I just relate by analogy, by comparing something. So here we have Upameyam, Upamanam, Upamati. Upameyam means what? Here I have given an example. A girl is saying her mother is like the moon in charmingness. A girl says, imagine your mother or anyone you want to imagine, please imagine. A girl says her mother is like the moon in her charmingness. Okay. So here I am saying the subject is what? Talking about her mother. With what she is comparing? With moon it's comparing. In what attribute it is comparing? Like the charmingness. Right? In charmingness we are comparing the mother with the moon. So this we call it as Upamana, comparison. Next we move to Arthapatti. Most we are getting questions from this particular topic called Arthapatti. Arthapatti means it is postulation. I assume something. It is called Arthapatti, knowledge gained through assumptions. Nowadays, no, most of the people assume. Without knowing the real fact inside that one, they assume. That is why this Arthapatti source of knowledge was not accepted by many of the Indian philosophies. Okay, many of the Indian philosophy do not accept Arthapatti as the source of knowledge. Why? Because knowledge gained through Arthapatti is based on assumption. It is not based on the fact. It is based on the assumption. We assume something. Assumption of a non-perceived fact is a only possible explanation of the perceived fact. They assume this is the reason. Right? They assume the reason. Day-to-day life with people, whatever we have now, they assume. If you are not doing means, they will assume. This is why they have not done. If you are not going means, this is why they have not come. If you are getting good marks means, this is why she has got good marks. If you are by driving a new vehicle means, this is how we have get this new vehicle. So what we are doing? Without perceiving the original fact, we are perceiving something, assuming something, and that is called Arthapatti or postulation. Supposition of a fact to support a well-established fact. See here in the example, Devadatta is fat. Devadatta refrains from eating during the daytime. He eats at night. So we say that he eats at night. Right? Sita has never seen reading any mathematics books during the daytime. Yet she scored 98% marks in mathematics. Therefore, she must be studying during the night. Okay? We don't know whether she studied in the night or not. But we say that she would have studied in the night. That's why she had got 98%. You understand? So, we assume. No concrete reason for that. But we assume something. And that's called Arthapatti. Next one we move to Anupalabdhi, that is non-apprehension. I have used to give this example. In my place, okay, in my room, in my place, if there is no laptop, it means what? My children will understand that I am not here, I would have gone to college. If my laptop is not there on the table means, my children will understand that I would have gone outside. So what is that meaning? The absence of an object will give some knowledge. So the knowledge gained through the absence of something, okay, that's giving a knowledge. It's called Anupalabdhi or non-perception. There is no jar now in the ground. Means that there should be a jar before. There would have been a jar before. So this understanding by the absence or the non-apprehension, we call it as a Anupalabdhi or non-apprehension. Next we move to very important one. It's called verbal testimony. What is verbal testimony? Shabda. Shabda means through words. So whatever has been acquired through the words, then we call it as the verbal testimony. And this verbal testimony, these four important terms should be there. One is Akansha, Yogata, Sanniti and Tatpari. Okay, I'll give one easy example. What is Akansha? I am just telling a word to you, right? I am just talking to you, right? Whatever sentence I talk, it should be meaningful and complete. What should be? Meaningful and complete. I should complete the whole statement. If I say like cut words or cut sentences, then we can't able to get it properly. So the cat is on the mat. That makes sense. If I say cat is on what? Where it is? We have so many questions in our mind. So whenever we speak, right, it should be complete and meaningful. Yogata. Yogata means what? Appropriate words. I should use the appropriate word for the appropriate statement for the appropriate place. So that we call yogata. Right? AYST. Yes, exactly right. AYST. So Akansha talks about the meaningful and complete sentences. Yogata talks about the logical sense when I use words. Logical sense when I use words. Next one we have Sanniti, proximity. Whenever we talk, right, we should not go also we should not go. We should not go very slow also. There should be a proper distance between one word and another word so that they can able to understand the sentence. And that is called proximity. Next one we have the Tatparya, that is the intended meaning, the purpose. Right? So understanding the speaker's intent. So I have to understand the intent of your things. And that is called Tatparya. Am I clear, learners? Yes. So these are the 4 different things that we have to remember in terms of Shabda, Akansha, Yogata, Sanniti and Tatparya. So these are the 6 different pramanas that we have along with Nyaya logic I have taught you. Come on, let's just test your gaining what you have learned in this one. First question on board. Now it's your turn. Everyone will become active. Kata 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 answer will come. Read it carefully and then give. Very good. Very good, very good. Yes, very good. Yes, the right answer for this question is both the options are said to be true. How, ma'am? So, as we all know, the Nyaya syllogism has the 5 propositions will be there. Starts from Pratijana to Nigmana. That is the 5th one. So, here the first proposition, what is there? It is saying the statement to be proved. What is the statement to be proved? There is a fire on the hill. So the fire on the hill will be stated here in the Pratijana and that will be also there in the Nigmana, that is conclusion. Yes, therefore there is a fire on the hill. That is why how we conclude. So the first of the 5 proposition corresponds to the 5th. Yes, it is absolutely right. Next one, of the 5 affirmations in the Nyaya sentence, the second corresponds to the 4th one. What a reason I make? What is the reason? Because there is a smoke. Okay, that is the Hetu. Then what will be there in the Upanaya? It is an application. So whenever there is a fire, there is a smoke. So I am just relating, I am giving a application over there. So right, so that is called application Upanaya. Am I clear? Yes. So the statement 2 says that the corresponds to the 4th part because here I am telling the reason. Here I am telling the application. Right. Very good. So here both the statements are correct. Do this one. Quick answers for this. Quick answers for this. Very good, very good. Yes, very good. Very easy question. No so much of difficulty. Here the right answer is PHUUN. PHUUN is the right answer. So E first comes. Pratijna, Hetu, Udharan, Upanayan, Nigmana. Right. Very good. Next question on board. Quick answers. Very good. Quick. Yes, right. Right, very good. Abhilash, Sasi, Karobi, Kavita, Karthik, yes, it's right. It's Pratyaksh, right? Pratyaksh. In Pratyaksh Pramana, we used to differentiate Laukika, Alaukika ways, right? Very good. Next question. In which of the following forms of knowledge there cannot be any prediction of the objects in terms of subject-predicate relation? There cannot be any prediction of the object in terms of subject and prediction. Very good. Good. Very good, very good. Yes, the right answer for this question is Nirvikalp. At a long distance, I see an object. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what is it, but I am saying something. So there cannot be any prediction of the object in terms of subject and a predicate, and that is called Nirvikalp Pratyaksh. Yes, next question on board. Which of the following statements are included in the inferential process of inferring fire from the perception of smoke as per Nyaya philosophy? These are the questions that we get this time. Just waiting for your answers. Quick. Read the question carefully and then answer. Very good. Quick. Read and answer. Yes, very good, very good. Yes, right. Very good. Yes, the right answer for this question is option 2, that is A, B, D, E. A, B, D and E. So the following statements are included in the inferential process for inferring the fire. So here they are saying that I want to infer the fire from the perception of smoke. That is most important. So from the perception of smoke, from where and all we are inferring the things, the Pratijana, Hetu, Upanaya and Nigmana. In these stages, right, we infer the fire. Next, we infer the fire from the smoke. Next one. According to Nyaya, which of the following step of inference corresponds to Upanaya? Easy one. Very good, very good. Quick. Upanaya. Pratijna Hetu Udharan Upanaya Nigmana. No, because is Hetu. Here it is Upanaya. I am reaffirming it. The right answer is the hill has smoke which is invariably associated with it. Okay, right. Do this one. Right answer is option 4 is the right answer. Next, do this one. To infer rain in the past by perceiving the muddy water in the pond is dash. Very easy one. Let's do this one quick. Very good. Here the right answer for this question is Shashava Tanumana, because I am just perceiving perceived effect from the unperceived cause. Next one, do this one. All things which have smoke have fire. This hill has a smoke, therefore the hill has smoke. And no non-fiery things have a smoke. This hill has a smoke, therefore the hill is non-fiery. Easy one. Yes, very good. Yes, the right answer for this question is Anvayavyatireki, because it works on the positive and the negative instances between the middle and the major term, and that is called Anvayavyatireki. Right? Next question, quick. Next we'll go to Hitvabash. Paksha means what? That's all. What is Paksh? Paksh. Paksh means it is minor term. Sadhya means it is major term. Sadhya. And Hitu is middle term. Hitu or Linga. Okay. And this is called a Paksha. Right. Very good. Last question from this one. Do it quick. Why I have given more questions from this topic is to make you aware, but more than this questions we will be doing today in the evening session. Okay, yes, do it. Very good. Yes, the right answer is very good. Everyone is doing good. Yes, the right answer is option 1 is right. Pramana in Hindu philosophy refers to the means of which an individual gains accurate and valid knowledge. Arthapatti in Indian knowledge is not a process of composing music. No, it is a source of knowledge where we get. Right? Yes. Evening in the app, Unified Study app, we have a 8 p.m. class, right, for paid learners. So 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. we have the paid session. At that section, we are regularly we are doing the previous year question practice for the exam. So today we'll be doing from the Indian logic Hitvabash topics. Yes, right. Learners, you can also visit unifiedstudy.com website, where we have a course for the 15 days to practice the previous year question, and also you can attempt the test, which we have done already. Topic wise we have loaded, that also can be done. You can visit unifiedstudy.com website. 15 days, it's for 399. 15 days, 399. The earlier videos can be viewed, PDFs can be accessed for 399, 15 days. Okay, right. Yes, very good. Next we move to very important Hitvabash. If you are feeling hard enough to understand also, this will gives you a clear understanding. So what do you mean by hitva bash? Just give me a 15 minutes of time so that you can able to understand this concept of exam only 10 days only, ma'am. Ma'am, today is date 23. There are learners who are exam till 16th. Okay. So not one third exam learners only going to take the subscription. There are learners paper 1, all the learners having paper 1. They have exam till 16th. Clear? So that those who want to extend also, they can extend the subscription. For that purpose we have given this one. Right. So next we move to Hitva Bash. So Hitva Bash generally is education. Yeah, right. So Hitva Bash, just 15 minutes, just understand. What do you mean by Hitva Bash? As we studied already in Indian Western logic, we have fallacy, right? That fallacy talks about the error. Formal fallacy, informal fallacy. When during a communication, during a logical decision we take, whenever there is an error in that logic, what will happen? There will be an error can occur, right? Misunderstanding can be occur. Ambiguity is there, misunderstanding will be there. So the correct decision would have not been taken properly. So in Western logic, we call them it as fallacy in terms of formal fallacy, informal fallacy. Similarly, in Indian logic, whenever during the logical statements, we do error, that error we call it as Hitva Bash. We call it as Hitva Bash. Hitva Bash means what? Whenever there is an error in the statement, and then that error we call it as the Hitva Bash. So the Hitva Bash, with what it happens? Because when we take wrong decision, the reason which we have stated may not be correct. So that we take a wrong decision. Okay, because everywhere that because is there. That because is not correct means definitely there will be an error. So that reason, if the middle term, if the Hitu is not proper, it is not correct, it is not strong enough to support it, then there will be a possibility of error can occur. And that is called Hitva Bash. So here we have 5 types of Hitva Bash. One is, please just listen to those words and the example. You can able to make it very well. First one we call Asiddha fallacy. Asiddha fallacy means what? Whenever the reason which I have given, it is not proved. Example, sky lotus is said to be fragrant because it has the lotusness in it, like a natural lotus. What do you mean by lotusness in it? Means there is no word called sky lotus. There is no lotus called sky lotus. We have lotus, but there is no word called sky lotus. So sky lotus is fragrant because it has a lotusness in it, means as there is no sky lotus at all, then how it can be fragrant? Here the reason what I am stating, because it has the lotusness in it, because it has the lotus word in it, I will say it is fragrant. So here this particular sky lotus is not at all there. So the fallacy of unproved middle. Fallacy of unproved middle we call Asiddha fallacy. Asiddha fallacy means the reason which I am stated is not proven. Unproved middle. You can remember like AUM. Asiddha unproved middle. Clear? Then we have Swayabhikara. So Swayabhikara means what? Whatever reason I have stated, it is irregular. How, ma'am? I am saying all bipeds are rational. Biped means which walks in 2 legs. They are said to be rational. Rational means logical thinkers. Okay, because we walk in 2 legs, no? We are rational thinkers because we are bipeds. Similarly, swan is also there, which is also having 2 legs. Swan is also there, which also has 2 legs. Can we conclude that swan is also rational thinking as like human being? No. Here whatever reason, biped is the reason I am making. That biped reason is said to be irregular middle. It is called fallacy of irregular middle. Next we have Sat Parit Paksha. Sat Parit Paksha means what? Here whatever conclusion I want to make, but the reason which I am made here will be contradictory by the another reason, strong reason. Simple example, sound is said to be eternal because it is audible. Eternal means long lasting. Can a sound be long lasting? as because it is audible? No. Anything that is being created, definitely it should end. As it is being here, right, I cannot say it will be long lasting. So sound is eternal because it is audible. Here one reason is what? Audible. In the next statement, I am making a strong contradiction that sound is non-eternal because it is produced like a pot. Here I am saying that sound is non-eternal. It is not eternal because it is produced like a pot. So as like what is produced means it can be destroyed, right? It can be end and day. Similarly, sound is said to be eternal because it's audible. The reason here is audible. I am making another strong reason called produced like a pot. So these two reasons contradict with each other and say inferentially contradictory by the another reason. Because I am saying it is produced like a pot. So this we call. So here the middle term is inferentially contradictory by the another reason that is produced. That is called Sat Parit Paksha. Next we have Batita. What do you mean by Batita is non-inferentially contradictory middle. Means I am saying that fire is cold because it is a substance. Can fire be cold? Can a fire be cold as it's said to be a substance? No, it can be a substance, but that fire cannot be cold because fire's nature is to be hot. So here the middle term, what is the middle term? Substance. The middle term is said to be non-inferentially contradictory by the, that is called Batita fallacy. Next we have Viruddha fallacy. Viruddha means what? The reason which I am stating is not correct. It is contradictory one. Sound is eternal because it is produced. As it is being produced, it should not be there for a longer time. As it is produced, it should not be there for a longer time. Right? And that is called, so the reason which I am stating here is contradictory. It's not possible. Am I clear? And that we call it as a Viruddha fallacy. 5 fallacies. Just understand, if you are a beginner, we don't know the other things, at least try to understand these 5 fallacies. Now we will go with the questions. Okay, right. Which of the following fallacies involved in the argument sound is eternal because it is caused? Very good. Very good, very good. Very good, very good. Yes, the right answer for this question is it is Viruddha fallacy because it is produced or caused, right? It is contradictory middle, whatever reason I make. Next question. Which are the types of fallacy? Please don't feel that I am giving simple question. This topic starts from the concepts understanding and then go with simple question, get better understanding and then go for the difficult question. Which is the following type of Hitvabash is the fallacy of irregular middle. Irregular middle. You can remember, right? Om. Very good. Sik, Sim, BNIC and then VC. Unproved middle, inferentially contradictory middle, irregular middle, non-inferentially contradictory middle, Viruddha contradictory middle. Yes, exactly right. Yes, the right answer for this question is it is Swayabhikara. Swayabhikara means what? The middle statement which I am making is irregular. Next, this is the homework question I am giving you. Kindly give the answers for this question in the comment section. And today evening in the class we are going to see only this Indian logic and Hitvabash from all the previous year sessions. Most important topics we are going to discuss. Learners, those who wish to join that class and also to access the previous recordings, you can just visit unifystudy.com or you can also download the app in your from the Play Store, unifystudy.com. If you wish to join the class, you can access through the website for do the payment and it's for 399 15 days. Am I clear, learners? Yes. So thank you so much. Meet you on the next class. same tomorrow. Right. Thank you so much. Tata, bye bye. Don't forget to give the answers in the comment section. Do like the session and share with your friends.